What is going on, y'all? GeoFuck Site Perspectives here. I haven't made a video on this topic in it seems like forever, but one of the main reasons I haven't made a video on this topic is, number one, there's so much going on socially and politically and financially that this is like the least thing that I'm focusing on that's on my mind. And then also, number two, in my personal lived experiences, it has not been a pleasant experience. So I don't really get the point in constantly participating in something that is constantly being a sore spot. It doesn't bring any type of joy, happiness, peace, no success for me personally, using I statements, talking about myself. But let's get into this topic because, I've got the request. I've got people asking me to speak about certain things. And I'm like, okay, the past 3 months or so, I haven't been focused on it because I've got other things going on. So I haven't addressed it. So let's talk about it. Romance, romantic relationships, love as an intersex trans person, as it applies to people in the trans community, intersex people, people that fall underneath the transgender umbrella. In my humble opinion, I've stated it, I feel like I've said this so many times in other videos discussing this topic, which is another reason why I'm kind of just like, I'm kind of tired of the topic, but then I also understand, it's human nature for people to want to have connections with other human beings, wanting those romantic partnerships, wanting somebody that loves and supports them and cares about them and want, someone that they can share their life with, someone they can build with, or start a family with, whatever it may be. I get it. And while I wish all of us had the opportunity to receive that type of support, that type of love, that type of relationship interest, in my humble opinion and lived experience, it's not realistic for all of us. It's just not. And yep, this is my opinion as well. This is my perspective as well. We're all entitled to have our opinions. We all have different, viewpoints and perspectives. And we also all have different lived experiences. So we're all not gonna have the same opinions or the same experiences. So in my opinion, I don't think that it's going to be realistic for all of us in the trans community or the intersex community when it comes to finding a romantic partner or having a romantic relationship. I just don't see it happening for everybody. One of the reasons I personally look at it this way is, number one, transphobia is real, honey. There's no kidding around it. It is very much the fabric, if you will, of a lot of people's mindsets. Even transgender people are transphobic. We have to unpack our own transphobia. Okay? Let's be real. A lot of what we do and feel and the way we move throughout life is based on societal standards, expectations, and norms. And again, we are all products of our environment, and we're all being raised in a very much cisgendered, heterosexual, normative, or cis heteronormative society lens on how you're supposed to show up in relationships, down to who you're supposed to be attracted to, the type of sex you're supposed to be having, who you're supposed to be in a relationship with. We're literally basing our norms and standards off a very niche group of people even though we all know realistically everybody's not cisgendered, realistically everybody's not heterosexual, and then even those who are cisgendered, they don't adhere to the gender norms themselves. So it's just kind of funny, like, in general, like, there's a lot of gray space, you know? But again, transphobia plays a large role, in my opinion and experience, on why we don't get to have the same experiences as our cis counterparts. Again, when I look at myself, I don't have the same options to date in comparison to my cis male counterparts. You know, it's like their view on dating is completely different than mine's, because you're not being discriminated against simply because you're cis. People are willing to give cis males the time of day numerous times, over and over again. Whereas an intersex trans male, myself, speaking about myself, I don't have the same opportunities at all. Like, now, to the naked eye, I recognize my privileges as being a quote-unquote passable intersex trans man. And what I mean by passable and that being considered a privilege is that to the naked eye, I look like a cisgendered male. So, you know, to the naked eye, I don't appear to be trans. I don't appear to be intersex, which I'm putting the quotations because what does it mean to look intersex? What does it mean to look trans? What does it mean to look cisgender? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have these assumptions, basically, by what it means to look this way or to be this way. And yet, that's not, our assumptions oftentimes aren't always correct. So, again, I have literally been accused of lying, of leading people on, of tricking people when they were the ones that assumed that I was cisgendered. Like, how is that my fault that you thought I was cisgendered? I don't even know you. Like, literally, I have been accused of being fraudulent and tricking people. And I'm just like sitting there like, okay, but I never said I was cis to begin with. You're the one that made that assumption. So, yeah, okay, like, and then in our current social political climate, you have to be careful. Like, you don't know if these people are transphobic. Are they overtly transphobic, or are they covertly transphobic? Because you have the people who are out loud in your face transphobic, and then you have the people who claim to not be transphobic, but through their actions over time, you see the various transphobic things that they're saying and doing to you. You have a lot of people who claim to be okay with you being intersex, claim to be okay with you being trans, but yet they're clearly treating you differently than how they would treat a cisgendered person. You see it in your face. So, in my experiences, outside of sex, you don't seem to be interested in me, right? Like, when it comes to having a sneaky link, a booty call, you're all down for it, right? You're down for the count. You're down for, you know, the experience, which that's a whole nother video.